person who inspired me was my father, I think. But he wasn't an artist, or, I mean, he painted, but he wasn't, he was an environmentalist. But oh, I like so many artists. Actors in particular, not so much. I mean, I didn't dream of being an actor as a child or director. I like books more, so probably would have maybe been an author or something, but...
What you dreamed of? To being what?
A baseball pitcher. My name is John Malkovich, that's who I am. This is a piece by Bernard-Marie Coltès, a French author. It's called In the Solitude of the Cotton Fields. It's directed by a director from Siberia, Timofey Kulyabin, who has long been known and regarded very highly in Russia, but now also in Europe, where he's moved to Berlin in the last couple of years.
As you know, there is nothing that allows the person who would go from one height to another to avoid descending, risk.
It's essentially about a dealer and a client, but we don't know what the dealer deals and we don't know what the client wants. The most that we know is that it's something forbidden. We don't really know much beyond that.
Illicit intentions and supposing the same of me, you should know.
It was kind of underground in the sense that it was a kind of, you'd say, it's very vulgar English, but you'd say a kind of gay meat market play. But of course it has a million meanings within that and beyond that. And it's not really very important. It may have been in the 80s, but it's not really very important. Doesn't really matter if it's straight or gay or anything in between. It's about the fear and shame that go with very, very strong desires, some might say uncontrollable and or even incurable. And what do you do with that? I think it's beautifully written, beautifully translated. It's a very profound text in a kind of surprising way. It's not pretentious, I think. It's intelligent, but it's not pretentious, I think. You almost never rehearse a movie.
No cutting, by the way. Hey, no cutting! Hey, no cutting!
The directors aren't really, to be perfectly honest, aren't really qualified to direct performances. That's not what they do. Directors who have an idea of what it is to help construct a characterization. This person views the world this way. This person looks like this. This person moves like this. The film often is already made in their head, and you're just this person that is in the drawing that goes. So they really should have to go to theater school, really, and film schools. So then they would have an idea how you really elicit a performance, speaking very frankly. Because of the vagaries of film, you don't really have time to construct a performance. And Unlike theater, where you often cast someone who's nothing like the role they play. In film, you cast someone exactly like the role they play. That's lacking very much in film education, I think. But of course, film has editing, so you cut out whatever you don't like, but that doesn't mean actually you're qualified to construct a performance, really.
I'd stay beside you in your sleep, in your unconscious, even beyond.
We've been working for 30 years now, probably more. His child, who's now 30-something, was born when we were on stage, so we've gone through a long journey together. And to kind of separate certain things, what happened to us, would be quite difficult and probably not useful. And if there is something between us on stage, lucky we.
My fingers and the tension in my arms relax a little.
Cameras are there to watch us and to transfer us onto that screen. But I am on stage and John is there. And sometimes John becomes the camera. And the same with him. Sometimes I, for him, become camera. So then the camera, then John is in the camera, but John is here. That is a cinematic experience, because when we do films, we talk very close to the camera, and sometimes there is no partner, but we know he's there. And that's what we're paid for to do, to pretend that he's here. This show is maybe, in that way, for me, quite special, because those two mediums merge. That the first time, apparently, I came to Tbilisi was in 1984 with the theatre, State Theatre of Kaunas. And we performed in Shotarustaveli Theatre. But I do remember that people we met were fantastic. And I always wanted to come back, and here I am.
Come back when you've succeeded with Madame de Tourvel.
Yes.
What do I think about the film? I think it's very good. I have no idea why I was chosen, so that's an easy answer. I was chosen by my friend and colleague Eileen Meisel at a meeting about something completely different, that we were speaking about me producing and directing. And at the end of the lunch, while they were waiting for their car, I asked them, what else are you doing? They had a studio called Lorimar, a small Hollywood studio. And she said she was doing Les Liaisons Dangereuses. And I said, oh, goodness. Wow, okay. And she said, do you want to do it? And I said, but to direct or act? And she said, to act. And at first I thought, well, why would you choose me to do that? And I think Stephen did a beautiful job filming it. James Atchison made great costumes, and in the way Stephen filmed it, which was always very, very long lens and almost always in close-up or extreme close-up or extreme, extreme close-up. I last saw it. It was on back-to-back nights when I was doing a film with Frears many years later called Mary Riley. I saw it back-to-back with Last Tango in Paris. And then on the next night, I watched it, which I almost never do and hadn't done since, I guess, I saw it in 1989. Maybe I saw it once. I saw editing, so I knew what it was. But so I think it holds up well. William Faulkner won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1949, and he wrote a beautiful little speech in acceptance of that award. And it ends with him saying that the writer's duty, the writer post's duty, is to help man endure by lifting his heart, by reminding him of the courage and pride and compassion and pity and sacrifice, which have been the glory of man, meaning mankind, humankind now we say. So that's what I think the point is. And we usually fail at it, but that's okay. We're not, let's put it this way, we're doing it a lot better than AI.